Oh. Good evening friends, welcome to JTC India YouTube live classes, and today I am going to start a topic called as constructors. I am starting a topic called as the constructor. So if you are having any questions from the previous classes or the last classes, you can please ask if you have any kind of questions from your last classes. And the topic what we were having in the last class, that was the methods, right? So guys, just share it fastly so that we can get connected and we can start the classes as soon as possible. Okay, fine. So here now first see, from the like previous week I was busy with some other assignments and other things, so I was not able to continue your regular classes, and regularly I was not able to take anyways, but yeah, till methods we have seen, and there could be again n number of different things in the methods and all, right? So mostly we have completed it. Few things are there that sometimes some other time we can discuss it, fine. And if you are getting any questions from the topic called as method, if any doubt from the topic called as methods, so you can please ask, you can you can just ask your questions, whatever questions as such you are having inside this, you are getting into this. Good evening to all of you. Okay, now the topic what I am going to start today here is, that is constructor. I am going to start. The topic name is, what is that topic name? Is the constructor I am going to start. Constructor I am writing. Constructor here. This is what our today's topic is, and the today's topic is the constructor. Fine. Okay. Guys, share it fastly. See, again, and in the last classes also I have already told you that if we get some good response from your side, we will feel more encouraged. We'll be doing some hard work again. But again, if you are not doing much things, if you will not be taking things seriously, so again we will also not be taking that much things for you all that is in the serious way, right? So anyways, now here constructor I am going to start today's topic. Today's topic is the constructor. If you are getting any kind of questions, any doubts to any one of you, you can please ask. Fine. But again, now before starting the constructor, or when we are starting the constructors, what exactly constructor is? First we will understand what exactly constructor is. What is the use of constructor, right? So first let me explain you what is the constructor. What is the constructor? Constructor is a special method. It is a special method. Constructor which is there is a special method which will be defined inside your class, means directly inside the class, and that must be having same name as the class name. Constructor. So again I am repeating my point. What is that point here I am repeating in this? See, first thing, let me write any class here. I am writing one class. I am writing one class, and the name of the class we could write anything here in this. So suppose I am writing one class name, and name of the class is hello. I am writing inside this. The name of the class I have written here hello. Fine. Now here, as I said, that constructors which is there is a special type of method. I am not saying it is a method, but yes, it is a special type of method which must be having same name as the class name. Now what is your class name here? In this case, what is your class name here? So your class name is hello, your class name is hello. So inside this constructor, whatever names you are going to write, that must be there with the same name as the class name here. Fine. So let me write here, I am writing hello, and say here, I am not giving any parameter here. I am not giving any means and just have a look here. So I have written one constructor here. This is one constructor I have written here, and this we will be calling it as an constructor. This we are calling it as an, we are calling this one as an constructor. Fine, it is. So we are writing a class. This hello is the name of the class. Fine. Inside this class, one constructor I have written. So remember one point, as I said, that constructor, whatever you are writing inside the class, must be having same name as the class name. So whatever is the name of the class, same name we are writing for this constructor also. The constructor must be having the same name as the class name. Is it okay? Now in the next point here, it must be having this parameters. It must be having this parameters. Parenthesis it must be having, but yes, it must not be having. What we should write here? Can you please tell me what we used to write it generally in the case of method? If I'll ask you one question, that what generally we used to write in the case of method, here we used to write some return type. So in the case of constructor, no return type. Here there must not be any return type. We should not write any return type, where in the case of constructor we should not write any kind of return type into this cases here, right? So I am not writing any kind of return type here. So again I will write here, say here, let me complete once. No return type here. No return type. There should not be any return statement. You should not write any return statement. That is, you can say here, that is even void also. It must not be having the void also. We should not write any return statement that is the void also. We should not specify any return statement which is void also in the case of constructor. Fine. Now there could be the different types of constructors which we could write it here. See, there could be the n number of different types of constructors what we can write it in these cases. See, the first thing is that when I am writing any constructor, suppose what is that here I am doing? I am writing here hello. So here I have not written any parameter. Here I have not written any parameter, right? So we can call this constructor without any parameter. What we are calling this? Constructor without any parameter. Constructor without any parameter, we are calling this one. In another word, guys, we can say this as a default constructor also. Why we are calling, or you can say that is default constructor also we are going to call this one as an, all these things we can call this one as an default constructor also. Fine, it is now. So what all things we are saying here? Class, inside this we are writing constructor, and that is without any parameter. So this is first, again you can say. Now next type of constructor what you can write here is, what is the another type of constructor you can write inside the class? You are writing hello, and in this case now I'll write here one parameter here. What is that I am writing now? One parameter I am going to write for this constructor, right? One parameter I have written. Fine. So see here, this parameter you must have to write in the case of constructor. Whenever you are writing any constructor and all other sort of things, in this case you must have to write the parameter for this, but it is not mandatory at the same time that you should you must not write any return statement, because if you will write any return statement, then what will happen in this case? If you are writing any kind of return statement, so that will now behave as an, if you are writing any here return statement here, so this constructor is going to behave as a method. What it is going to behave as a method here. So I am not going again into this. So we can call this one as an one parameterized constructor. We are going to call this one as an one parameterized constructor. Basically we are calling this one as an one parameterized constructor. Is that, guys, clear to you all? Next, now in this, here again inside this, the third option what I'll write here, I'm writing here int of a and int of b I am writing again here. So if I have written here two parameters, so this constructor specially is called as the two parameterized constructor. So here we can call it as a two parameterized constructor here. Fine, it is now. So now one thing which is very clear to you, that inside a class, by just seeing that, you can understand whether it is a constructor or what it is. You can easily understand whether it is a constructor or what. There should not be any class inside this, that you can easily understand this is a particularly it is a constructor. So here this is the particularly, when I am writing here it is a constructor, here this is also a constructor, right? And this is also. So one we are calling it as a default constructor or constructor without any parameter. Second one is with one parameterized constructor I am writing, and the third one which I am writing is the which one now? Two parameterized constructors we are writing again inside this. So this is the different types of constructors which I have written inside this. Is it okay now? Now here. Now let me explain you that what is exactly the task of any constructor. What is the task of any kind of constructor, whatever we are writing inside a class. Fine. See, there are different types of tasks about a constructor. Different types of tasks for a constructor. A constructor can be taken in a different forms, in a different ways here, right? How it is going to perform its task. But a very simple thing about the constructor is that what we can say about the constructor used to, what it is used to? It is used to assign. You can say that it is used to assign instance variables of a class, I can say. What is that I am saying? I am saying here that it is used to assign instance variable of a class, constructor. Constructor, what is that? Is used to assign instance variables of a class. Now next one here, we need to again see one more thing. What is that? We need to see one more thing here, that if I am saying here that by using the constructor we can assign, what we can assign? Instance variables of a class. So the next question is, why can't we initialize, why can't we assign a static variable of a class, right? So again now I am writing few more things here. Let's understand it here again. So from the initial one I am writing here. See first, what is this I am writing here? Suppose, let's say one student class I am writing. If I am writing something here, let's say I'll write one class called as, let's say here the student, I am writing one class. Hope you will understand all these things clearly or properly. You will understand that I am writing a class called as the student. Are you getting my point? This is one what I have written is a class called as the student. I am writing this particular one as a class. Fine. Now, after writing this class, int of I am writing here SID. See here. I am writing here string of something, name I am writing, fine. Let's take only these two variables, and apart from these two, one more I am taking here, string of country I am writing here. Understand these three members, what all these things I am writing and what I am trying to explain to you all. Say here, have a look. Now suppose previously whenever you, okay, one thing if I am asking to you all, that guys, what is SID, what is name, and what is company name, what is country name? These all things are somehow a variable of class. Are you getting it? These all things, whatever as I have written here, these all are a variable of a class. These all are a variable of a class, what you have written inside this. These all are a variable of a class. Getting it? Okay. Next, now inside this, if these all things, whatever as such I am writing, are the variable of a class, guys, understand it here. So previously, and now see, these variables which is there could be different in the different objects cases. The value of these variables could be different in the different instances, correct? Now you see, previously what we were doing here, if I am writing 101, see, this constructor I am explaining in something different way. I am not just giving you theoretical meaning of constructor. I will write the programs also and I will be showing to you all, correct? So here this is something I am explaining in a different way, right? Now if I can write it here, so suppose now I am writing the SOM as an name of that corresponding one. And again here country name, suppose I'll write here that is the India as a country name, correct? Now this is what I have written. Now just by understanding one thing, that's two of these variables whatever we have, now suppose there are the different objects we are creating, or different instances we have created, S1, S2, S3, or let's say we are writing till Sn. In all of these cases, is it not going to have the same value for all these fields? Right, it is. All these things whatever we are writing for S1, S2, S3, Sn, for all these instances, don't you think for the fields of SID, name and country, these all are going to have the same value? Isn't it? All are going to have the same value in that case. So what we want now, we want that, see, every instance, every object of a class may be having the different, may or may not be having the value of these properties different in each of the cases. And whenever these instances, whenever we are creating the object of a class, we want something that associated with that corresponding object, some values must be assigned inside this, correct? So here now, again now one more thing, as I am trying to explain you inside this here. So now here you see, so what I am trying to do here, first here is this, I am making it as an static. See, many of the concepts I am taking into this, and once I am concluding it, you will understand in the proper manner. So here I have taken it in the static form. This is what we have taken, static we have taken here. We have written it is the static, fine. Now in the next case here, so see what I will do now, I am removing these all things. Now let me explain to you one thing, that if I am writing student, this is one default constructor I have written, fine, it is. This is one default constructor which I am writing inside this. Now again, in the next form here, student of, here some, see, int of, let's say SID1 I am writing, int, or let's say again here now, string of, I am writing that is name, and again associated with this now, okay, let it be this only. This is one constructor, two parameterized constructor I have written here. Fine it is. This is two parameterized constructor I have written inside this. Fine. This all things whenever I am writing, this is the different types of constructors which we have written here. Fine. So this is one default constructor I am writing. This is one two parameterized constructor I have written. These two different types of constructors, well, I have written into these cases here. Fine. Again in the next form, in the next cases here, we are just trying to implement something else also. Correct? Now you say here, if. So see this constructor, either this constructor or this constructor, these both constructors will be processed only when you create the object of a class. If you will not create any object of a class, then these constructors are not going to be processed. These constructors which is there is not going to be processed in any ways, correct? So if you will create the object of these all classes, then only these constructors are going to be processed, correct? So here, now let's say I will show you same thing with the help of program. So guys, if you are getting any question, any doubts in this, you can please ask, you can ask your query if you are having any questions regarding this here now. Now again into this, first, let's understand one thing here. I'll just write one example, and with this help of this example, we will understand all these things properly, completely we will understand. Here, I am writing few things here. Have a look. And initially, as I am using here notepad itself, because when you are writing the things into the notepad, you will come to know the things again in a more proper manner, in a different manner. You will understand the things in a proper manner, right? So here let's see, I am writing few classes here. I am writing one class. What is that class I am writing? Class here when I am writing, or let's say we write here some student. Name of the class what I have written here, that is the student I am writing is the student I am writing. Inside this now, first I am writing SID. Now you see here, SID is equal to 101 string name I am writing. Name, suppose if I am writing here Som, and country I am writing, country name, let's say I am writing that is the India. Now you say here, after writing all these things here, again word of show method when I am writing in this, system dot out dot println. Well, let's understand it here. Show in student class, well, I am writing, and here inside this particular class I am trying to print the different set of values. Here we are writing one SID. Well, after this now I'll write here the name, and inside this now I am writing here that is the country. Country I am writing inside this. Fine. After writing all these sort of things here, now I'll write one class JTC, suppose 15 I am writing into this, and public static void main. Inside this now, see here first, student S1 is equal to new of, student, have a basic idea here now. Now I am creating one object of this class. What is that object I am creating? S1 is equal to new student, something like that I have written here. And now I wanted to save it here. How I want to save it here? Say for example, okay, let's save it in jdc15.java I am writing, and as again I have saved it here inside this cases, correct? Now you see here one thing, s1 dot, what is that I am writing now? Let's say so method I am writing here, see, and at the same time I'll do one thing. I hope all of you are understanding it. Here now I am writing now, say here compiling Java C JTC15 dot Java I am writing inside this. Java C JTC15 dot Java I am writing into this. Fine, it is. Compilation is successful. So while compiling a program, there is no problem again inside this. There is no problem at all. Once we are compiling the program, so at the time of compilation of a program, there is no problem at all into this cases, correct? There is no problem, means there is no error into this. Now I'll try to run it, so I'm running it here in this, which is something called as the JTC15 something I'm running. So we are getting some output here. What we are getting some output? See 101, some name and the things we are getting it here. Okay, let's do one more thing. Here you see, one more object I am trying to create here. Student S2 is equal to new of student, let's say I am writing here. Let me write it here. S2 dot, again I am writing the show here. Have I? Is it fine now? I have written these two objects now. And again I am trying to compile it first. So see here, when I am trying to compile it, and the both methods, when you are looking at this, you will see, you will find one thing, that in both of the cases the values are going to be same. The values which is there are going to be the same in the both of the cases. And see, it might, as I already told you, it might be the same or it might not be the same things. Okay, now you see here one more thing that suppose in this case I'll do one basic task. See, I am not initializing any value at the time of declaration. I am not initializing any value at the time of declaration. Only and only that value what I have assigned, that is for the country I have assigned, and that I am doing it as a static. I have just assigned the value for the country I have assigned it here, that is India I have assigned it inside this case, correct? Guys, see, if you will watch till end this one, you will understand the complete concept behind the constructor, why we need the constructor, what is the and not only the constructor, you are going to understand the, you can say, objects also, that what exactly object is. So what is constructor and what is the object, you will understand all these things in a complete in-depth manner. So I am not just giving the, so see here, according to me, what I think, that country name could be common for all the instances, for all the objects. So maybe we are considering all are the Indian students. So that is what we are declaring it as in static. Okay. Other than this one, let's say I am writing now student. I am writing here something called as the student, and in this one I want, well, I'll write it here more in appropriately here, something like this, that is the default constructor in student I have written here. a default constructor inside the student I am writing, and inside these things here I am writing here int of SID, well, say here SID, I am just writing SID, and well again I am writing string of name. Here you see. Here inside this case now, to meterized constructor in class student I am writing here, well, and when I am writing these two parameterized constructor inside the student class, so well I am writing here SID is equal to SID, I will explain it to you, and now I am writing here name is equal to name. These few things which I have written here inside this, and inside this now 101 and name I am writing here so. Okay, this is two parameterized constructor I have done it here. See, these constructors, as I said, will be processed only when you are creating the object of its corresponding classes. Okay, now, so I am compiling the same thing again, and after compilation you see here, in again it is giving the, in both of the cases it is giving the same error message, same thing it is giving here. You need to again understand it clearly why it is giving that, and I will come to that, why it is giving that kind of message, why it is giving that kind of error. So let's understand it here first, and then I will do this example again. What is this now? First, suppose I am writing this one here, let's say I am writing one student I am writing, and the student what I want to write here, so that's the class I am writing. Class here is what now? Student. I have written one class called as the student I am writing. Hope it is visible to all of you. Is it visible to all of you? Kindly comment in the comment box, guys, if you have any questions, anything, right? Anyone is there? Yeah. If you are getting any questions, any doubts or anything, any kind of suggestions, any kind of feedbacks you have, you can write in the chat box. Okay. Fine. Good. So here now inside the student one, see, I want to write, okay, so at this time, before understanding this one, understand one more concept called as the object, guys. Object. What is this object? Object. Because already in the last classes we have understand it here, what is the object, but today what I want is that you should also again get the some things about the object. You should understand something about the object into this. So what exactly object is here? Say, understand it. What exactly object is, so that you should understand it in this case. See, let's consider a smartphone. What is that now? Smartphone, correct? It is one class. Smartphone is what now? One class. And there are n number of other smartphone are available. There is Nokia, Samsung, Apple, MI, n number of smartphones are available. Now you see, the properties of these all smartphones in each of these instances are different. In some of the cases memory is high, in some of the cases memory is low, RAM is different, means all the specifications are different. So once that particular object is been created, this instance came into the existence, then only the property of that corresponding one has been decided. Okay. So in similar way here, what as I am trying to explain you here, you see that once, see, if I will write here int of SID, string of name I am writing, and here string of country you are writing. Country is equal to, suppose, something you are writing, that is the India you have written. Fine. In this way, in this form, you have written something like that. Now if you are keep on getting any questions, you can please ask. Fine. Now in this case, when I am writing here the student, see here, I am not specifying here any parameter. I am not specifying any kind of, guys, parameter here. In this case, I am not writing any parameter. Here inside this now, int of SID, and well, again I am writing here string of a name I have written here into this. So in one cases, in different cases, different things when I am writing. So in one case, I have not written anything here. Fine. I have not given any parameter. Here I have given two parameters. Well, now I'll write here SID is equal to SID I have written, and then again here that is the name is equal to something called as the name I am writing. These two parameters, again I have written something. Guys, are you getting it? Okay. So this is the different forms I have written. Now let's see, I am creating one object of this class. What is that I am doing? One object of that corresponding class I am creating. What is that object I am creating? Student S1 is equal to student I am writing. One object I have created, student S1 is equal to new student I have written. Fine. So when you have created student object without any parameter, you have not given any parameter here. So at the time of object creation, it is going to process this one. And when it is going to process this one, so I'll tell you again the number of internally steps, what it is taking place when you are creating any object of a class. Number of things which is happening internally at the time of object creation. So we will be discussing that, what all things are happening internally whenever we are creating any sort of object of a class. But yes, now this constructor is going to be processed into this case. Fine. You can see that I have not done any kind of assignments into this. Now, but at the same time, when I am creating S2 is equal to new of student, and inside this 101 I have given and some name I have given into this. So this is going to invoke which one now? Two parameterized constructors. What it is going to invoke now? Two parameterized constructors. When it is invoking two parameterized, so see this SID, the value already 101 I have given, and some name value also, suppose I have given Som here. These two names I have given into this. When I have given these two names, what is going to happen? Now see. First it will search what is this SID. This SID is available here. What is this name? This name is also available, which is a local variable, correct? And then it is trying to understand what is the left hand side variable, this one, because right to left assignments will be done. And in this case, it will first try to find out in the local context that where is the SID. So it is initializing that to the SID, it is initializing that something to the local variable itself. It is initializing that values to the local variable itself. So what is happening in this case? Means this SID and the name, which is a class level variable, still remains uninitialized. Remains uninitialized in these cases, correct? It is remains uninitialized. Okay. So that's the reason here we can change the name of this here. So we can write here SID1. So if I am writing SID1 and that's the name 1, so we can assign the value correspondingly in that corresponding different properties and the different fields here. So let's see the same thing by example. Guys, if you are getting any questions, any doubt in this, you can please ask. If you have any kind of query, you can please ask. Let's have a look. So when I am printing, when I am getting any value, see that here, if I am trying to just print it, say here, I'm running it now. And well, I'm getting the output again. But again, in these cases here, different things here, what is that I'm going to write? I'm changing these names at present. See, I'm not introducing any new concept at present this inside this one here. So SID1 and as well as the name 1 which I have written, and based on that something we are doing here. So well, let me compile it, and after compilation we are running it. So see, in one instance what value we have, and in another instance what value we are having. In both of the cases things are different, correct? In both of the cases things are different. In one case 0, null and India somewhere it is available, and the second case it is, what is that? These things are available. So what it, okay, now I was saying that it is used to initialize the instance variables of a class. Why not the static? Because static is a common one across all the instances. So the value for the static one must be initialized in starting itself. But yes, even if you want to initialize the value for that static member of a class, definitely you can initialize it. There is no problem at all. Correct it is? So let's have a look into this. So hope you are getting it now. Now again you see, I'm writing here the student of S3 is equal to new of student 202 and something I have written RAI, and then S3 dot I'll write here, that is the show method. I'm going to write it inside this, guys. Fine. When I'm writing all this sort of things, when I'm writing all this kind of things, so see here again, you see previously what value it is giving. Now you see what values it is giving here. See here, in each of these cases here, things are different. The values what you are getting is the different values you are getting inside this. Correct it is? So see, this is one very basic of the constructor, and with the help of constructor we can initialize value to the each one of the variables of its class, which is an instance variable of a class, in a different forms, and in the different things, different processes, we can initialize the value again inside this. Correct? That values we can do here, that values we can initialize it. And again, so I hope you understand here the basic meaning of constructor, right? And guys, if you are getting any questions, any doubt in this, you can please ask. Any kind of questions you are getting, you can please, guys, please share it on your Facebook, on your groups, on your friends group, or in your college groups, so that more and more people can watch it, and we will be encouraged to do some more hard work for you. And है ना, सो आप लोग थोड़ा सा इसे शेयर करो, क्योंकि आप जब तक किसी चीज को शेयर, इसमें देखो अभी कैसे कैसे लोग चैट कर रहे हैं, क्या कमेंट कर रहे हैं, मतलब कि टोटल पढ़ाई से कोई मतलब ही नहीं है. एंड आप देखो, तो अभी जस्ट मैंने कंस्ट्रक्टर थोड़ा बताया, ठीक है, बाकी और हम लोग देखेंगे कंस्ट्रक्टर को. और गाइज ये कुछ लोग हैं जो आपको मतलब इसमें, है ना, तो इसमें जो है ये कुछ उल्टे सीधे कमेंट्स वगैरह बाकी की चीजें हैं, ठीक है ना. No, Rameshwar, you cannot. Question is, can I declare constructor of a class as a final inside the class? No, you cannot declare constructor of a class as a final inside that. You cannot do it. I will tell you in upcoming classes why you cannot declare constructor of a class as a final, guys. No, so the first thing is, guys, आप लोग इन चीज़ों को, आई थिंक डेफिनेटली इन सारी चीज़ों से सबको कुछ ना कुछ बेनिफिट तो हो रहा होगा इनसे, और थोड़ा आप शेयर वगैरह करो, बाकी की चीज़ें करो, तो हमें भी थोड़ा अच्छा लगेगा और ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा लोग देखेंगे, है ना. एंड नहीं तो फिर तो ठीक है, ऐसे चल रहा है, हम भी लोग भी फिर कभी मन करेगा तो लाइव करेंगे, कभी मन नहीं करेगा तो नहीं करेंगे, है ना। तो थोड़ा सा आप लोग इसमें, एंड गाइज प्लीज लाइक इट, है ना, please like the video and share it to your friends, to your colleagues, those whoever wants. Okay, so if any kind of guys suggestion, anything is there, please write it to us. Any kind of suggestion, any feedback is there about these classes and all other sort of things, so you can share in the chat box, you can share in the corresponding mail, you can share in the comment box, correct? And rest of the things again we will see tomorrow at the same time, 9 o'clock we will discuss again. Thank you guys.